And aloha everyone, how you doing? Welcome to the Mobile Cool Kids table. It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com. I'm over here near Saladang, meaning I am over near Lumpini Park, which I just learned from Logan / Make It Fix It that Lumpini Park, the nickname for Lumpini Park, is the lungs of Bangkok. So I'm live, and there is a high likelihood that this video transmission will be imperfect. But I figured rather than wait until I get over to Joe, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you. So much is up. Hey, Paul. Rather than wait until I get over to Lumpini Park, we'd go from BTS to Lumpini Park. But first, let me take a selfie. No, but first, let me get a coffee. Sorry, Cobb. Iced coffee. No, chai. All right, so I love this place because I don't know if you can see the giant vat she's got there of like real cream that's heating. And it's really good. And so this is now my third time here. I think the last time I was here, her son was the one serving me. But I like this place. It's right down the street from Crown Plaza. If you know where that is, if you know where I am, I'm basically on Rama 4 and Saladang. Silom Road. And the cool thing is that she's going to give me the piece of the plastic bag that you like hang on your handlebars. Okay, Cop. Okay, Cop. Oh, Scotthard. All right, so 67 cents later, I am one of the happiest caffeinated people on the planet. Now this morning, I woke up about 10 to 6, and I said, okay, I'm going to go to Queen Sirikit Park, which is right at the Asok station, and it doesn't take me that long to get there from BTS, and I've never been there before. So I'm on BTS, and I'm checking my email, and there's an awesome email from this guy, Logan / Make It Fix It. His new YouTube channel is called Make It Fix It. And he sent me a wonderful email that basically motivated me to take a little bit extra time. Aaron, good to see you. Justin, good morning. Oh, man, here we go again. That's what the thumbs down button is for. And I have 2 battery packs, guys. One of them is, actually they're both 10,000, one of them is 10,000, the other one's 10,500 milliamp hours. So I don't know if we can do another 6 hours like yesterday, but we might be able to. Oh, thank you for the 2 thumbs up. As I've told you guys before, the greatest thing about going mobile is when you're using the app on the phone, the only thing you can see is thumbs up. So it's perfect for my rose-colored glasses, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as thumbs down. Hello, Mike. Just did 1 hour and 15-minute stream without a host. Paul was MIA. Awesome. Totally awesome. And just so you know, if you guys have never done a live stream from a mobile device, the way that I see the comments is they show up, and then about 5 seconds later they dissolve and fade away. So if I don't get to your entire question, or if I miss it, until I get to a place where we sit down and judge some monitor lizards, then I may miss your comment, and I'm really sorry about that. Now, today, and for the last couple of videos that I've shot that I haven't uploaded yet, 7 likes, right on, guys. Thank you very much. My ego is fragile, so that's helpful. You know what I'm going to do to make this a little bit, longer, believe it or not? What I'm going to do, talk about great balance, right? Isn't this thing awesome? I own this because of you guys, by the way. No, it doesn't like that. All right, hold on. Let me set it right there. And then I'll get the Anyway, I'm using the Gimbal Smooth 4, which is a amazing gimbal. They refer to it as a stabilizer. And it's got a base to it, like a little tripod, so I can put that on there and then like set it down right now. Like right now, it's kind of precariously perched. It's got a flat base on the handle, but if there were any significant wind right now, it would likely blow over. So what I got is I got my bag of tricks. This bag, actually, believe it or not, this is the one that came, my previous gimbal came in this bag. But what I do is I, never wanting to throw away anything I just might use one day, I still haven't thrown away my old gimbal, because the battery in it is shot, but I don't know if that in turn trashed a whole bunch of the electronics, meaning the gyroscopes. But I figure I've got the space, right, to hold something that's like, you know, of the size of like 2 or 3 cell phones, basically. Good morning, Stuck. Good to see you. A humid 30 degrees C morning in Bangkok. Absolutely, dude, and I couldn't be happier. So anyway, so I'm going to screw this into the bottom. This was what came with the Moza, the one I had. The one that came with this is like really awesome. It's a great footprint. It's like the size of a big Frisbee. Gives you a lot of stability. And then this would like just sort of rest down on the marble, basically, that I was just on down here. So I'm going to put that at the bottom, and what that allows it to do, basically, is to just, you know, be a little longer so that when I'm holding it, I'm not so close to the top. Ideally, I can then hold it a little bit further away from my face. I see that the crosswalk is green, and if you've been in, there's only like 7 seconds left on the light. And as you know, I don't know if you can see that in the distance, but it's counting down. You know how it counts down the lights? And now it's at like 74, 70, 73. You probably can't see it, but oh, there's a guy over there with a tripod. See that guy right there? Got a tripod, and it looks like he's got a DSLR with him. So anyway, so I'm going to cross Rama 4 here, and then we're going to be over to Lumpini. And then from there, I'm going to walk over to one of the sort of the larger lakes. But anyway, I'm really pleased with the Gimbal gimbal, basically. It is very, very sturdy and has a lot of range of motion. It's got mobile time. It's got motion time lapse. It's got regular time lapse. It's got a whole bunch of other features. Those lizard bastards. Oh yeah, Brian, this one's for you, baby. We are going full-on live lizard today, so this is going to be epic. So anyway, if I haven't seen him yet, or he hasn't popped up, this guy Logan, you probably have seen him on the channel making some comments. He's got a channel called Make It Fix It, and he was the one who sent me an email this morning that motivated me to stay on the BTS a little bit longer and head over here to Lumpini, because I was like, well, I'll just say, okay, so now that's green. Now yesterday, even though that was green and the cars are supposed to stop here, and people were already walking across the street, I was doing so with my camera, right? Talking into my hand, not paying attention to the traffic, and I'm like, okay, I know that if the light's green, then that basically means I can cross. It doesn't mean, by any stretch of the imagination, that I am in California. Okay, so the whole, like, pedestrians have the right of way, that is nonsense. The cars have the right of way, basically. What I will tell you, though, is that in the last couple of years, what I've noticed is that when I'm even at a crosswalk, one that doesn't even have lights like that, that they will, some cars will stop. It was like, I was coming back from 7-Eleven last night, or not last night, I'm sorry, a night a while ago, and this guy in an SUV, he like stops, and, oh, hi, Euryce, good to see you. I don't know if she's watching me on Facebook. Probably not, I don't think she has data. Euryce is Gracie's daughter. She just wished me good morning. G'day, Jim Jets. Good to see you, my friend. And so this guy in a SUV, he stops, he honks his horn, and he like basically stops traffic and allows me to cross. And I'm like, okay, that was that was nice. That's not something that you'd necessarily expect in Thailand, right? And that was, you know, over Sukhumvit 100 area. So I mean, it's not like. Oh, and here's the other thing too. If shoot, I know his initials are JP, I think. I wrote it down, actually. Here, hold on, let me check myself before I wreck myself. Hold on. Where did I put that piece of paper? Oh, shoot. Oh, no, I have it. Hold on. Yeah, so there was a guy who was planning on coming over here, and he asked me if I had ever been to Bel Air, Bangkok, which is basically one of the many thousand. Joseph Pinto. Joseph Pinto. If you guys see him here, or if he is here, after the stream yesterday, I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I could sit at home and do some editing, and I got to do that anyway. I'm way behind on, like, walk and talk videos like this that actually aren't live streams, but also of me using the gimbal, the stabilizer. Anyway, so Joseph Pinto was like, hey, have you ever stayed at the Bel Air Hotel? Or Bel Air Bangkok, Belair. And again, it's one of those many, boutique hotels. It's like, anywhere from 5 to like 12 stories high, and they got like 100 rooms and that sort of thing, and they're in sort of the city center. This one is actually on Soi Ha. It's right across from what is it? Well, it's right down the street from Nana Station on BTS. And so I thought, all right, well, I'll just cruise over there. Nana's easy to get to, so I cruised over there. Now, as I'm going there, I think to myself, what are the chances of this place being closed? I mean, A, there's not a whole lot of tourists, but didn't they, like, close hotels or whatever? And then I thought, no. It's right near Nana Plaza. It's obviously going to be open. So I went there, and I was like, this is great. I'm going to do some video of the rooms, and I'll be able to show it on the channel. And, in fact, I was thinking what I'll do is that'll be some of the video, some of the content that I play when I take a restroom break. And with that, then I can do, like, 9-hour live streams all day long, right? And there's no dead air. So anyway, so I go over there, and I'm walking down Soi 5, and it is, like, pretty dead, with the exception of some very entrepreneurial working ladies and ladyboys that I was very surprised at. I was like, wow, I didn't think they would be out, but, most of them had masks on. One lady was standing in front of the Landmark Hotel as I was walking back. She had a piece of cardboard folded in half, and the top part of it said Thai, and the bottom half said massage. And she's just standing there, and, I tried to speak to her in Thai, which I couldn't do. But nonetheless, she's more than willing to give me a massage. And I didn't do it. I was reluctant from a health perspective, but she also didn't look, she looked a little weathered. So I thought, well, I'm going to go with you didn't go to Wat Po to get trained. And so anyway, I judged her and moved on. Because, again, while I have made a comment that I bring sand to the beach, that's never been more true as it relates to Gracie, because she is a certified massage therapist who actually has an additional certification where she can provide care for stroke victims. And she was motivated by that because I believe her uncle or her aunt, something like that, someone in her kind of attached family, spent the last years of their life, being a stroke victim, and it's not happy. And, I also think that there was a part of her that, how old is my girlfriend's daughter? She is 13. She just turned 13. And it was funny. I was thinking yesterday I would like to, bring her on and stuff like that. But I know that, she's under 18, so there would all be all this BS nonsense. And I'm sure YouTube would be like, well, wait a minute. This isn't so. I said, all right, fine. So anyway, I'm not even going to get into that debate. Gracie is well north of 18. So there's no issue with having her on here. Now, it is Sunday. It is Sunday morning, okay? And it is about 8 o'clock. I don't know exactly because I can't see the time on my... Happy Mother's Day to my girlfriend. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to tell her that. I'm also going to call my mom. So what we'll do is we'll go here. What needs to happen... Actually, I need to take my hat off. Because as I enter, what's going to happen is that this guy is going to take the temperature of my forehead, and if I'm above 37.5, then basically I need to sit down in the shade and cool off. Cut to our cup. This guy right there. So that's totally awesome to make sure that I am safety. ดีๆมากๆขอบคุณมากครับโชคดีครับ Okay, so now here's the motivation for me coming over here this early. Is I thought to myself, there won't be that many people. 807, thank you very much, Duck. Now I need to sit down because I need to take this off so I can actually drink my coffee. And I kind of want to do it in an area where there aren't any other people, even though most of the people that run, they actually don't wear the mask, which is totally appropriate. But I tell you what, here's what I'll do is I'll sit over here, and I'll show you guys some of the little duck paddle boats that Gracie and I did. Geez, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. That was about the time that the Mahanakon just opened. And I love that building. Or certainly it was the first time that I saw it. And I'm like, okay, what architect says, yeah, so we're going to design basically a glass and metal building, but we're going to make it look like it's totally twisted from the top. And I mean, I know that there are round ones that have that. I think specifically in Shanghai they have something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm still going to hold the stabilizer here in my hand for a little bit, because there's nothing like sort of chest level that I can sit it down on, rather than use my tripod just yet, because I'm not necessarily in a permanent space. It's funny, sometimes if you've ever watched them make the coffee there on the side of the road, you've probably seen how, like, they fill the entire cup with, a Filipino wife's son is 12, interesting age, interesting how Phils don't celebrate mothers. Oh, they don't, hold on, I think I can, yeah. Don't celebrate mothers as much as Americans in my experience. Well, I mean, the Mother's Day holiday in the United States is, I'm pretty cynical, unfortunately, about holidays in the United States, because there seems to be this attachment between the amount of money that you spend and the amount that you care for the person. But again, I'm very jaded because I haven't spent a Christmas back in the United States for 7 years, and I couldn't be happier. Because all of the whole mall thing, and I mean, I have good friends who I respect quite a deal. Our Mark Crowd's holiday, absolutely. And they would get so proud of themselves that they got all their Christmas shopping done by like November or early December or whatever. And I'm like, why is that a gargantuan triumph? Like, you know what I did? I called my mom once a week for the last 75 years, kind of thing, And I like to think the majority of the calls she smiled. Hello, Virginia. Good to see you, Blue Room. I don't have the ability to do sort of a dual camera shoot with this thing, but I am using the Zhiyun Smooth 4, which is my new gimbal, thanks in part to you, Blue Room. It is a little bit commercialized, yeah. But again, I mean, I'm jaded, and it's also confirmation bias, right? I mean, it's not like I really need it any longer. But for a while there, it was like, okay, wait, what are the reasons that I should not be in the United States? Other than, well, there's Thailand. That should be enough, really. But man, this is good coffee. Now, I didn't have my normal coffee in the morning, and I haven't had a Diet Coke yet. But if you've ever seen the way that coffee is made on the side of the road, it's basically soaking in a big sock inside of a big tin container, right? And oh, do I have like a red spot on my? Oh, wow. And so anyway, there will probably be enough caffeine in that for the both of us. But I'm really psyched to be here. I hope that this live stream is watchable. The past week was Nurses Week. I did know that, actually, and I didn't make any sort of big deal out of it. Again, and you know why I don't do that? I miss the iced coffee with Thailand, so sweet. Yeah, and so this stuff, here's what's crazy. So she knows me well enough now. That was kind of neat. That was like my third time there. Is she gives me the nitnai one. It's like, you don't want it too sweet? And I'm like, I don't want it too sweet. Come on. You're going to take this much coffee that is effectively like molasses coffee, and you're going to mix it up with the rest of the cup filled with sweetened condensed milk, and then you're going to put cream in there, and then you're going to put a teaspoon of sugar. So yeah, absolutely. Only give me the half teaspoon of sugar, because everything else is just so bitter up until that point. Man, sweetened condensed milk. I mean, how many sugarcane fields do you need to make one bottle of sweetened condensed milk? Mm. I don't know how loud I am. I'm sure I'm quite loud. I'm certainly loud compared to Juan Mak Mak. Try and make it up. DD. You like it really sweet, huh? So anyway, I haven't had any more caffeine than is in there, but I will likely have another one later. It's hot and it's humid, right? I mean, it's May, but it's cooler and it's nice. And what I was really hoping is that I would be here just oh so early. You know what's interesting is like if I go to like a business meeting or if you go to a mall that's just opening or something like that, then you know, for the most part the Thais will show up about 9, 10 o'clock. But if you go to an area where there's like where basically people are exercising, they show up a lot earlier. And I gotta tell you, man, I mean, you come to this Lumpini Park, I mean, right now, and I've come here before too, and people exercise here, of course. But I would say, like, of all the people that just went by me right there, just in that like 5-second time frame, 50% of them are jogging. Here. And you know, yeah, there's the occasional white guy, but for the most part, it's Thai folks. And there's a very small subset of people riding their bikes. And then there's, you know, people of all ages basically exercising. It's freaking spectacular. And, you know, yeah, you see that in Southern California. And you see a heck of a lot less in the Midwest. And you only see it for about 2 or 3 months out of the year in New England. The tea is good, in my opinion. The orange stuff. Oh, I'll have to check that. Oh, you mean in the bottle, like in 7-Eleven? That's pretty sweet, man. Justin says they put sugar on everything in Thailand and the Philippines. Okay, dude. I mean, honestly, I think Thai food is superior to Philippines food, right? So Rike said that him and Gio will be online in about 15 minutes. So we're part of this Facebook group, so some pop-ups are going to come right now, probably quite a few, because once someone posts in that group, then a whole bunch of posts sort of happen. But I don't know if it'll make... You won't be acknowledging Chrome Dome Week. Yes, well, I don't know if I don't know when Rob and I are going to do our next one, but Paul says evaporated milk is good in coffee. Also, if you want it sweet, no freshly made side of the road. No, I love the side of the road coffee. If for no other reason, then I always seem to leave there smiling. I rarely interface with someone who's at a little coffee cart that seems like they're in a bad mood. So, I like that part. I'll pay 20 baht I'll pay 20 baht for smiles all day long, man. So anyway, it's just really good to see. There's a lot of good things that it's good to see. Andy Francis, Bangkok Chit Chat. Unfortunately, your message was retracted, or maybe you did that. I can't remember. I can't remember what it shows up like if you put a word in there that YouTube disagrees with, like ass, in livemyassoff.com. Shows are so short-sighted. But yeah, it's really good to see the Thais, obviously, wearing masks, and I am absolutely going to put mine back on the minute I go back out there, because I just feel like I'm part of the solution, quite frankly, here. And, I know that there's massive debate on, like, whether it's going to help or, yeah, it doesn't make me breathe easier anyway. Donkey. That's what I should do. I should change my channel to live my donkey off, absolutely. So I like the fact that they're, really adhering to the mask thing. And, here's the interesting thing. So I'm on BTS yesterday. The only person I've ever seen balk at an officer, basically saying, he just touched us, he's like, hey, put your mask on, was this white guy, and, and he was, he's like huffing and puffing, and of course he's sweating like crazy, and, and he's got his backpack on, and, I mean, look, the BTS is almost empty. And this guy's like, putting a tantrum in. And I'm just looking at him, and then he finally, like, comes upstairs, up to the thing, and he's waiting. And he walks by me and, kind of gives me the nod, like, hey, fellow white guy. And I was, I just said something like, oh, nice mask, or something like that, and I don't know. Anyway, I shouldn't have engaged with the guy at all because obviously he added zero value to my life other than the fact that he gave me a great example of what not to behave like in the kingdom. It's funny, every now and then I think, oh, I already talked about that topic. Well, the topic that just flashed into my head that I was just going to talk about that I already talked about in another video that wasn't live was responsibilities. And you may disagree with this and be like, no, I don't have that responsibility, Mike. But I believe I have a slight responsibility. It is not 100% my responsibility. Good morning. Hey, Japan, that's awesome. I got to get to Japan. For a number of reasons. There's one guy that I've sort of befriended. He and I have become sort of friends on Facebook. It was through Rike. We met on like one of Rike's groups. His name's Bruce. Really sharp guy. And he was in, before all of this, like, you can't move around stuff started happening in Japan. He had a SUV, like a, oh, okay, Brian, here you go. I literally have been sitting here. I didn't even notice this thing. Now, can I switch? Yes, I can. All right. So we're going to refer to this morning as the Brian 1000. Can I zoom? Oh, look at this, dude. Now, also what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch where I'm walking, and I'm not going to slip down the ledge here. But this guy is, I want to say his body is about, like, from foot to foot, he's looking at about 1 foot. Philippines On Demand, good to see you, Billy. Sorry I came in late to your live stream last night. You probably didn't see any of my comments. But it was so funny. I came on and you were talking just about me. It was towards the end. You were talking to me about the whole radio thing because that other guy was in radio. Jim says you looked into the Elite Visa to the person that brought that up. Thank you. Sound like a good option. Good to be part of the Cool Kids table? Absolutely, Jim. The only reason it's cool is because you're here. I absolutely am convinced of that. And yeah, it's kind of a dragon, right? Okay, so so that like ledge, it's about a foot above the water level. So to give you an idea of how sort of flexible they are, and I can't see. I think he went off to the left here because I'm seeing some bubbles. But anyway, so that was our first sighting, and the cool thing is that it was the smallest one I think we'll probably see today. I saw one of the biggest ones during that live stream that I sadly stopped too abruptly the last time I was here. But anyway, I think they're awesome. They're like my new favorite pet. Well, okay, no. They don't surpass the monkey. Thank you for the 12 likes, guys. Every now and then I like to sort of look up and see that. And we've been going for 27 minutes now. Oh, let me do a quick check on the battery. Okay, we're at 50%. I do have 2 batteries with me. The downside is I bought this special cable because the way that it works here is that the phone slides in, right, and it's got like the clamp on it, but the battery end, basically, or the plug end, it goes right up against the side of the gimbal, so unless you have like this 90-degree cable, you can't really plug it in to charge it while it's happening, but I will figure out a solution to that because actually what will happen is likely by the time, in the next 50% of battery, I'm anticipating we'll be somewhere else. And I'll be using my tripod, so the ends will be good to see you. Right on, Denmark. How am I? What, are you kidding me? I'm living the dream. No, actually, the short answer is the way I answer "How are you?" is I'm amazing. And if people say, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm living the dream. So I am amazing, truly. Thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. Jeremy, actually, over at Do More Live says he's going live at 9 a.m. And so that is when? That's about 39 minutes. Jeremy's going live over on Do More Life. And I actually didn't post in that group that I was live. If any of you guys are part of the Expats in Lockdown group, Rike's group that he and I are the administrators of, feel free to cruise over there and give him a link to this video. While I'm live on YouTube, I don't believe I have the ability to join those other guys. They use Streamlive too, right? So there's basically just a URL, you click on it, blam, and then you're in the green room, and then you're on there, just kind of like, you know, I've done collaborative streams in the past. I really like Jeremy's live streams. I'm sure many of you know him, right? Do More Life, and I gotta tell you, dude, he has a group of people. I mean, his cool kids table, if you will. It's a family, man, and I totally dig that. I really, really dig that, and I like to think that's what we're starting here. I have yet to see any sort of, you know, troll-like hater comments. And as I've said before, I would submit if any of you guys see that, you'll be like, yeah, so you're going to need to just leave because we got no use for you. And hold on, let me click reply and see. I am, hold on 1 second, guys. Live at it makes the keyboard really big, so it sounds like I'm typing like a 4-year-old. Lumpini Park now. And so maybe those guys will send a reply. There we go. It appears Mike is live at the moment. Thank you, Jason. Oh, man. Nothing like late to the party. Good job, Mike. All monitors do. Yeah, well, okay, Stuck, I hope you were just here like a few minutes ago when you saw the first one. So, yeah. So we're going to go for maximum monitor today. Only Smart Donkey comments. Absolutely, dude. I completely agree. Gomor says, hey, Mike, is your channel dedicated to travel, fun, photography, and education? You mean like Do More Lives is? Florida in the house, right on. No, my channel is dedicated to two things. 51% of the reason I do this is to make sure that my mom is completely aware of what I'm doing and that I'm enjoying myself and that I'm healthy. And the only reason that I'm healthy is because I have her and my dad as my mom and dad. And the other 49% is basically to hang out with you guys and keep myself sane, and also have a documentation years from now of what I did or what I was able to do. But the main reason I do these live streams is that I just get a lot out of the interaction with you guys. I mean, selfishly, like I really like the interaction. I really like the banter. And Gomar Hike, what is your name? I can't remember. And are you like Jeremy's brother? Is that what? Because every now and then I see him saying hi to his brother that's on there. So I figured, oh, well, if there's Do More Life, then maybe Gomar Hike is Jeremy's brother or something. It doesn't really matter. I'm just curious what you think. Hi, Mom. I say that sometimes on my channel, on my camera. You know, it's funny. Just as I was reading that, I thought to myself, wait, why don't I say that every time? I mean, it's not like she just randomly watches videos. If Daniel is here, I want to thank him a great deal. Daniel joined the channel, I think, during one of my first live streams, maybe like a couple of months ago. Since then, he has literally gone back to my first video ever, which was horrendous in quality and content, and he's watched every single one. And so I wake up, Daniel, and I now get the biggest smile on my face because he's on the, you know, on the other side of the world, different time zone. And he comments on almost every single one of my videos. In fact, he made a really, really genuinely nice comment on one of my videos that I did in 2017. I can't remember what month. But I watched that video again, and I'm like, man, I should republish this video. This was a really great discussion. His first words were, excellent video. And I thought, okay, yeah. But I watched it, and I was like, no, I was actually pretty point on on that video. So what I don't know is if I like basically just download the video and re-upload it and republish it, because I don't want to yank it from 2017. I have a feeling that if I republish the exact same video, then YouTube might think it's like a copyright infringement, because they have this bizarre thing where if you like, you know, publish the same thing, like if I were to upload the same video twice, they won't let me do that because they can read the data in there and be like, no, this is a duplicate. So anyway, I may edit it a little bit. And Paul says, at Go More Hike, is your channel dedicated to more hiking? Pretty much, breathing in fresh air and going on walks. Where are you, Go More Hike? Are you here in Bangkok? Because if you're, oh, dude, this breeze that we're having right now, it is epic. You can't buy something this awesome right now. As we, I think, all know, I have an outdoor voice indoors, and so when I'm outdoors, it's outdoor voice plus 20 dB. And so because of that, oh, you're in the USA. Okay, where? Are you in Florida? I've seen you like on Jeremy's channel a whole bunch, and then I couldn't remember where you said you're from. So I apologize if you're like, Mike, I've already gone over this. And but anyway, the bottom line is I really appreciate being here. I really appreciate you commenting on my. Here's a question for you guys. Alabama. Oh, dude, I totally want to cruise down there. Are you near? Are you on the Gulf? Man, I'll tell you something. I know this is going to sound crazy, but again, from my perspective, and I was not living there at the time, one of the best things that ever happened to that whole Gulf Coast, the real estate, was the oil spill. Because the amount of money, because I mean BP took such crap, as they should. They were held accountable for what they did to the beaches there. I mean, it was disgusting. Oil everywhere, all these, birds were dead and everything. But they had to spend so much money to clean that place up that I would submit that afterwards it certainly looked cleaner from my perspective. Now, I wasn't there during the disaster. It's kind of like saying, oh man, the best thing that ever happened to the Philippines was Yolanda. Like, no, not necessarily. Or actually even worse, the best thing that ever happened to Phuket was the tsunami. No, it wasn't. Paul says, I've been going for walks every day to get out of the house. And I should have been doing that. I got to tell you right now, it's not like I was locked in my house during the day. It was just sort of like how I felt I should be. But I got a buddy who literally lives one stop down, my buddy David, and I'm like, oh, are you getting out or whatever? He would send me a message, hey, how you doing? So many live streams going on at the same time. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting, right? I don't really know. I mean, what should I do? Should I you want coffee? Yeah, I tell you what, man, you want this coffee, David. I'll get you that right now. I wish the comments would stay there. If you guys have ever done a live stream using the YouTube app on a mobile device and you're like, oh, no, Mike, just push this button that says make comments not go away. Although if I scroll down, even if I scroll down, they fade away some. And anyway, so to your point about the daily hikes, Paul, I was not doing that, and I've been really trying to do that now. I think today is okay. So today is 1 week that the sort of opening, the soft opening as I call it, of Thailand has become. So they opened up parks this weekend. The Chatuchak Weekend Market opened. I may go there tonight. I know this is going to sound crazy, but the bath mats that I buy, this really thick, really good quality white cotton bath mats, they're like 100 baht, and I get that at a store that's in the Chatuchak Weekend Market. Like there's not other ones. So I'm sure I gotta go to Big C, but they're not open actually. I could order it online, but in any case, so it's been 1 week for the opening, and I think this is either my fourth or my fifth time this week to Lumpini Park, and so far I am not sick of it, man. I am totally digging it, and hopefully this will also be a really successful live stream. Let me feel my phone. My phone, too, isn't heating up a whole lot. I think the reason it was heating up is because what I do with any of the content that I record on my phone is it gets synced and backed up to Google Photos. It also gets uploaded to Dropbox, and I use mobile data to do that. And when I'm on Wi-Fi, it's no big deal, but when I'm on mobile data, then I'm sitting here, I'm basically streaming live, and I'm squirting data up to Dropbox, and I'm squirting. So I turn both of those things off. And I think that's helping. It'll probably make the battery last a little longer. We're at 43%, so it looks like we're going down about 1% a minute. Seems like what we're doing. So once this gets to about 20%, it gets a little finicky. So let me cruise through some comments, and then I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk around, and then we're going to get to a point where I can plug my... Daniel says, get something out of answering this question. Are the monitors with toxic bacteria in their saliva? The short answer is I don't know. I read a comment just recently where someone said that. And so as far as I know, his data is correct, but I'm not quite sure. Living My Life says, how do you like the Smooth 4? I get it on Monday. I think it's awesome. It is hardly the lightest weight one you will buy. There was a part of me that's like, okay, this was $75, so that's pretty good. I may buy a DJI that has got to be 1/3 the weight, but this is incredibly professional. It is made very well. If this thing ever fails, I would be completely surprised. It has a 1-year warranty. Who knows? My last gimbal had a 1-year warranty, and then at 8 months it broke, and I sent the manufacturer an email, and they said, oh, you got to go through our distributor. I'm like, okay, fine. So I go through the distributor. They're like, oh, we don't sell that model anymore, but we'd be willing to give you half your money back. And I'm like, okay, well, half of it doesn't work. Like, it's 100% broken, so I'd like all my money back. And they wouldn't do that. And Amazon wouldn't help me because it was over the 90 days. And I was like, okay, so clearly next time I'm going to spend extra money just to buy it from the manufacturer so that I can hold them accountable, even though I would submit to you that regardless of who sells me this. Anyway, I thought that lacked a whole lot of integrity, but whatever. And Gomor says, yeah, BP had to pay a gigantic payout to Alabama state government. Good. I'm glad they did. And it's not like, yeah, they probably suffered in the short term. But it's not like they weren't making money up to it like a year ago. Stuck says Florida was about to allow onshore drilling again right before that happened. Fortunately, it's been put on hold. That's pretty nice because I don't know if you've ever driven on the, the kind of like towards Los Angeles, Southern California, Long Beach. I mean, there's oil like, and that, I mean, Long Beach is the whole coast is just littered with refineries. I mean, it's disgusting. And then you go 20 miles south and you're on Huntington Beach and it's amazing. Justin says, I don't know how Starbucks is still in business in Thailand. Better coffee on streets and so much cheaper. I know exactly why they're in business, because it's a status thing. And if you know anything about Thailand, you know that it is a very status conscious society. And so one of the ways that you can show your wealth and show your success is to be seen at Starbucks. I will see people, instead of buying like, what you would consider like $100 purse maybe in the United States, instead of buying that, they'll use a Starbucks bag as a purse. I see girls doing that on the BTS all the time. It's a status thing. It's the only, I mean, dude, think about it. Starbucks here is like 10 to 50% more expensive than Starbucks in the United States. So imagine how much Starbucks is. Oh, I thought those guys were like climbing that tree right now. It's pretty good. These guys are exercising. I don't think I'm too loud to be disturbing them. I hope I'm not. But anyway, we're going to walk here soon. Starbucks has comfortable chairs to sit in. They absolutely do. And thank God their Wi-Fi is now free. I remember when they first opened and you could get like a Starbucks Wi-Fi card for like $15 a month. I'm like, that's offensive, dude. What are you going to charge me for like the electricity if I want to charge? Wi-Fi should be free. Air, water, internet. That's all I need. Aaron says that, Daniel, I thought those ones ain't as bad as the Komodos. Our mouths should have a worse bacteria than a monitor lizard. Yeah. Hey, Clay, good to see you, man. Just woke up. Best sleep in 2 months. Good for you. Good for you. Daniel says, Aaron, right, that's what I'm thinking about, the Komodo dragon. Yeah, I remember you guys talking about that there. Thanks. This is Dave from Motorcycle Camping. Good to see you. Glad you're here. I really appreciate it. Okay, let me finish off all these comments and then we'll start walking. Hey, Mike, what's the cost? What's the cost of what? Of this? Is that what COSS? I apologize. I'm not really sure what you're referring to, David. If you're talking about the gimbal, then I paid $75 for mine. And then it was literally like $1 shipping or whatever. What up, Mike? Good to see you, Ron. What's happening, buddy? What's the minimum wage in Thailand? So it depends on where you are. Much like, if you don't know, I mean, the minimum wage in California is about 25%. No, sorry. It's about it's about 35% higher than the minimum wage of the United States. It's almost $15 in Southern California. But if you're in, for example, Alabama, I believe the minimum wage is about $10 a month. $10 a month. $10 an hour. So the Thai minimum wage was about 300 baht. In Bangkok, it is closer to like 400 baht. But it depends. So if you're working as a security guard and you basically just sit there and you make sure that everyone that comes in is, safe and that sort of thing, then yeah, you're going to be making about 10 to 15,000 baht a month. It depends on the company, and they pay into Social Security, and they'll get like a healthcare package of some kind, and so, and that's a great question, Blue Saab. Do you seriously own a Blue Saab 11? Do you own a 2011 Blue Saab? My mom has a Saab. I had a Saab Turbo 900. That was a great thing. So I don't know why that's your channel. Will I invite my my mom to Thailand? I mean, my parents are welcome to come anywhere they want, and I would love for them to come to Thailand. But it's a little rough here for them, meaning that, I mean, they walk every day. Like, my mom swims 3 times a week. They're 80-something. And, I mean, they walk at the beach every day. And they walk at the beach every day around the Boston area. And in February, the beach is not 75 degrees, and there's not people tanning themselves. And they go to the beach and they walk, like, every morning. So they're in great shape. But they need sort of like a flat surface. Some of the sidewalks here are a little bit questionable. And I don't really know if they'd necessarily enjoy themselves. I think my dad would actually really like the whole, like, eating street food. That would probably really impress him. And they'd probably like riding the BTS and that sort of thing. They wouldn't drive a car. They don't have a smartphone, so they wouldn't be able to use Grab and that sort of thing. But, of course, I would be with them the majority of the time. I actually think they'd really like it. The biggest problem, especially for my mom, would be, and they're very healthy and they're slim and all this. I mean, they're in great shape. My mom has actually a degree in home economics and nutrition. So, yes, she would make cookies occasionally as a child, but trust me, the stuff that I ate as a kid was very nutritious. And so I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, 300 baht per day. I'm sorry, did I say per hour? Yeah, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? That'd be U.S. wages. Minimum wage for wait staff in. Oh well, yeah, but I mean wait staff. That's different, right? Because I mean they rely on tips, which is I love not tipping. I love being in Thailand for a lot of reasons. Another one, no tipping. Don't need to tip. It's great. Absolutely so efficient. Love everything about it. Anticoagulant is also in their saliva. Okay, back to that's cool. Minimum wage. Daniel Murphy, my father's parents, lived in Kissimmee for about 50 years. Cool. All right, guys. I'm going to dismount here. Well, let me see if I can do this with... Well, I'm not going to do this with any elegance. Come on, what am I talking about? How's that? Yeah, right. Okay. This is one of the many masks, actually, that I bought because of Daniel Nett's love for my pink mask. Did you guys see his comment by any chance? In that video where I said, oh, look, pink mask. This is where I bought my pink mask. His response was, no, I actually like your pink mask, and I like Hello Kitty, and I like... It was hilarious. I love it. Get an aisle seat. Oh, yeah, well, so she can't sit for a long time. The airplane would be really rough for them. My mom, minimum wage in Denmark is $17.40 an hour. So Denmark has a lot of amazing things. More mobility on the 12-hour flight. No disagreement. And my mom, basically, she is happiest and most comfortable in a seat that is literally almost at 90 degrees. That is more comfortable for her back. And you know, if you've been on a plane in the last decade, you know that the support. Let me get out of the running lane and over here. The support on those is not necessarily great for your back. It certainly doesn't have any lumbar support. And so anyway, so it would be uncomfortable. She would fly out to San Diego from Boston, and if you know anything about that route, basically it's very easy to take because JetBlue has, I think, 2 or 3 non-stops per day from Boston right to San Diego, and then she would rent a car and she would come over to my place and she would stay there for 2, sometimes 3 weeks. But that flight, and you can absolutely get up and walk around, go to the restroom, that sort of thing, stretch your back. But that one was never real pleasant for her. So the other, the longer ones wouldn't be that. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be efficient. I'm going to quickly take my mask off and finish my iced coffee here. How's the stream quality been so far, guys? I'm sure it's cut out a little bit, but okay. And thank you to the 29 people that are there right now, and thank you for the 17 likes. I really appreciate it. It's funny. I was watching Billy's channel last night, and one of the things that he says that I completely agree with. We just sort of both say it. We both want the same thing. We just say it in a different way, which is, if you're gonna give us a thumbs down, okay, fine. But what I would more appreciate is if you actually put something in the comments that was truly constructive criticism. We've talked about that before, not destructive criticism. Like, oh my God, Mike, your mask is so ugly, and now that you have this gimbal, you think you're awesome, and then you're not vibrate or whatever. Something completely useless to me, basically, to not figure out a way to add value. If you're going to give me a thumbs down and you dislike it, then what I would really appreciate is your recommendation on how I can add value. And if it doesn't meet the sort of culture of this channel that I think is led by you guys as well as me, then it might not be a good fit, and your thumbs down is a great indication that that another channel might be better for you. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be flippant or say that in any way, like not go, okay, get the heck out of here. I'm going to take my blocks and I'm going to go home. It's not that. But again, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, how can I add value? Because I got to wake up this morning. I mean, yeah, that was my plan. But, there's people that are people. Well, there are some people, I suppose. There are forces that are in charge of whether I wake up in the morning or not. And I got to wake up this morning. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually walk over here in the grass. Because where I'm most likely to find a place to hang out and sit is if I'm over here, because then I'll be able to sort of judge how far away I am from other humans, allowing me to ideally not bother people, because I can tell you I'm the only person talking. And even if people are here as a team, as they're talking, I can't hear them. So anyway, and I haven't, oh my God, there's so many comments that I haven't seen. I really appreciate, okay, great picture I saw. Saab is rumored to be coming back. Oh my God, you guys, I am so behind, and I didn't even, the comments weren't coming. Recycled elephant pants, yeah, very good. More mobility on a 12-hour flight. Okay, I saw that. Great picture, thank you very much. It is okay, Cyrus, thank you. I hate tipping as well when I spend 24 hours in an economy class. I know, it's just like, it's so much more efficient. Philippines on demand, thank you, buddy. So yeah, hopefully you agree with me there, Billy, right? It's like, what I have said in the past, I think I've said it on this channel as well, is if you like this, if you like the product that's coming out of this, if you guys, you know, really appreciate being part of the Cool Kids table, because you're making it cool just by being here, then tell your friends, tell someone that you like. You know, I'm not doing a subscribe, like, share promotion, you know, but if you think this added value, well then, you know, share it with someone that you like. It's like, hey dude, I just found this really awesome Frisbee. You want to see it? Okay, well, you know, I didn't leave Mike's channel unhappy. I left either as happy or happier than before I got there. So you might want to share it with one of your friends. If you dislike it, share that with me. That's what I would always say. I was part of this user group. And towards the end, I was always sort of honored, because for the most part, towards the end of our meetings, at least 90% of the people that actually got there early, and you know, at these user group meetings that are part of a IT conference, you got plenty of opportunity to do a whole lot of stuff. There's a bunch of vendors basically trying to buy your friendship. Guys, I don't see the comments there, so anyway, okay. So Jeremy's live now, and he's doing the consequences of eating street food. I would submit the one-word answer to that is happiness. The consequences of eating street food in Thailand are, now, the negative consequences of eating street food in the Philippines are Mike ends up in the hospital for 2 days. Am I using the gimbal now? I am, Clay. Still here, bro. And that's right. Oh, yeah, so if you saw Philippines on Demand there, so Billy, his live stream today is going to be on Mother's Day. And what he's very, it's really like, it's just a warm feeling, right, if you watch his live streams. So if you're a mother, or you want to praise your mother, then you can go over to Billy's channel. Let's see. I think it's going to be 9:50 Bangkok time and 10:50 Philippines time. Isn't that right, Billy? So yeah, Philippines on Demand. He'll be cruising. He'll be doing a bunch of shout-outs and praising all the mothers. Because guess what? Like her or not, none of us would be here without a mother and without a father. And I'll tell you right now, not only would I not be here, okay, cool, yeah, 10:50 Philippines time. I wouldn't be as happy as I am. Without, hands down, without question, without my parents, I wouldn't be the guy that I am today. I wouldn't be as happy as I am today. I wouldn't be as appreciative of life today. And, you know, we all go through stages in our lives, and, you know, one of the things that, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this phrase, but it's pretty common in the circles that I'm in, in the recovery community that I'm a part of. And it's called a moment of clarity. And a lot of people will label, like if you ask someone, okay, so when did you stop drinking? And if they're really serious about their sobriety or they're staying sober, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, May 28th, 1992, 6:30 p.m. And people will be like, no, I kind of just meant like, you know, like approximately, but that moment is very important, because most people, certainly those ones that, you know, are just suffering from alcoholism and didn't do drugs or whatever, and they become blackout drinkers, a lot of them, you know, don't necessarily remember the last hour or the last day or the last week they were numb before they decided to get sober. But many of us will remember this, the moment of clarity. This is 1 hour faster than the PI. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Hare Krishna people made it to Lumpini. Yeah, they could, potentially. There's a lot of So you know what? I'm actually, I didn't sort of plan this, but where I'm at right now, or where I'm walking towards, let me do this. This is the location. Wouldn't it be cool to be in there? But I can understand why they block it off, because they don't want, groups of people meeting. But what's kind of neat is there's big groups of people around, right? And so even though there's no like workout area, a lot of people are getting together and working out and making their own area. And one could argue that this area that I'm in right now would be a great area for people to kind of hang out. The previous bench that I was sitting at when I first started this with you guys, oh cool. And we've got the Brian 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, number 2. Ding, 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 ding. And this guy is a little bit bigger than the other one. And of course, he's looking over his shoulder going, dude, seriously? Like my buddy about a kilometer away, he told me, watch out for the tall white guy. He's going to come up to you and he's going to have this black stick in his hand and he's going to torment you. I'm sure I'm the talk of the lizards. I'm sure I'm the absolute talk of the lizards. They're probably like, okay, so not only is this guy without hair, he's without fun. He's bugging us everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to sit here and we're going to look out over here, and I'm going to set the tripod up. There are turtles too. Yes, there are. There are other animals in here for sure, and of course there are fish. Great audio, great video streaming quality and audio. So that's good to hear because this is exactly where I was during my last 3-minute one, when there was a report that the video was like choppy and streaming it and they're not working. So anyway, do let me know if that's happening right now. I don't believe it is. Yes, lots of turtles, absolutely. So anyway, so what I was getting to is moment of clarity. So when I had my moment of clarity, and I said to myself, okay, this stuff has to stop. I'm going to set this down, and we're going to do that, and I'm going to talk a little bit over here to the right of that camera, so the audio may not be stellar. I think one of you guys also asked me if I like the Smooth 4, which is the Gimbal that I'm using right now. But I tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this, and then I can see if I'm doing it correctly. And I'm going to set up the tripod for you guys, and then we're going to chat. So the Xeon Smooth 4 is a really, really good option. Anyway, so my moment of clarity, the reason I bring that up is because one of the things that hit me in the mind, and not the least of which is, oh my God, you're killing yourself on the installment plan by continuing to use drugs and alcohol, get your life together, or it's going to be over sooner than you'd like, was I flashed in my head, and I was just like, oh my God, my mom would absolutely be horrified by what I do, by my behavior right now. I'm being I'm being a horrible person in general, and I'm a complete monster. But this isn't why my mom, drove me to nursery school to get a really, really good education starting at the age of 4 or 5, so I could grow up and be a lying person who doesn't respect the body that God gave me. So that was sort of my moment of clarity. And interestingly enough, it was 28 years ago this month. So as you might guess, and it was at the end of the month that I got sober in 1992. And so therefore, right now, 28 years ago, I was basically hitting bottom. And you might be able to imagine that because of that, 28 years ago, I was a mess. And the fact that I get to wake up this morning and I get to do this with you guys, I mean, dude, I hope you guys are, I hope it's unnecessary for all of you to have to go through a bottom of significance to be able to appreciate the fact that, you got to wake up this morning, because you have no idea. I mean, my goal 28 years ago was not to wake up, ever. And anyway, I'll get into that story in a... I am now high on life and I'm living the dream. Absolutely, Justin. And I'm the luckiest guy in the world, dude. The luckiest guy in the world. So anyway, I'll set up this camera, and we can get back to having Caesar see a little bit more of the water scene. And Caesar, just so you know, you may have sent me an email, and it may have gone into trash, but I check my email pretty regularly. I didn't see an email from you. So please, if you want to hang out, I would be honored, because I know you're here in the Big Mango. And all you got to do is livemassoff@gmail.com. A bunch of you have actually sent me some email, and hopefully I got back to you with a timely manner. I don't think I got back to everybody, but wait, hold on. How much would it cost to stream HD? I don't know if I could stream HD with this phone. And the only reason I don't stream HD from my Chromebook, because that's what I use actually with Streamlabs, is that there's the possibility that it could ruin the stream. I have guys that have like 4K cameras and that's all they buy, and they stream live in 720 because just to stream live in 720 it's 3,500 kilobits a second. So as far as how much would it cost to stream in high def, I mean, if you're going to buy like an iPhone 11, I'm guessing you can do it. So as long as you got the bandwidth, then it can do it. Anyway, let me set this up, make sure to plug the charger in, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on. Okie dokie. Now let me make sure I don't touch the power button while I do this and shut the silly phone off accidentally. Alright, how'd I do? Good. Alright. I'm gonna set the I really wish I could do picture-in-picture with this, guys. That would be amazing, but I can't. And so anyway, here's the Zhiyun, and it's vibrating right now because it's trying to base it. But you put it like this, basically put your phone in, simply twist it like this, and then bam. If you put it like that, it's in standby. And then all you got to do is hold the button down for approximately 3 seconds, and then all the blue lights go off, and then it's off, and you're good. And this is the one from my previous one, so it adds a little bit. So usually I'll hold it like this, which is nice. Okay, so it gives it a good counterbalance weight. Counterweight balance? Something like that. Now, I'm out of beverage. So again, I don't think this is going to be a 6-hour extravaganza. I really wish I could do picture-in-picture. The good news is that, well, you know what I can do? Mike, that whole engineering degree thing, that might come in handy, because logical thinking, that'll change your life, Mike. Anyway, I'm putting this down. And the only reason I was sort of reluctant to face this way was because I didn't want to sort of advertise the fact that I don't have my mask on. So let's see, how about that? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Hold on. What if I were to do... Let me do this. Hold on. Let me tighten this. They have crocodile food. I should get some crocodile food. That would be an absolutely amazing idea. Let me make this a little bit straighter. And let me get this here. And let me get that there. And then let me put the back down a little bit. Put the back down a little bit. And then that goes up. Which then allows me to do that. And then we'll level her off. All right, there we go. And I'm going to try and kind of make the background. Hopefully that will refocus and we can get. All right, cool. Now what I'm going to try and do. I actually should put my phone upside down. I forgot I need to do that. Stuck says I'm watching at 720 on my iPhone 11 right now, and I have the basic, not the Pro. Yeah, so not so much what device you have so that you can watch it in HD. I believe what the question was, more appropriately, was what's it going to cost for me to transmit, to stream in HD? But I'm not quite sure. And I appreciate the question. I really appreciate the person who yesterday, they were like, you need to move the microphone so we can see your face better. I'm like, okay, if Gracie were doing this, I understand why you might say that. But I'm like, my nose is bigger than the microphone. That's another thing that I really hate. I don't really hate it, but I find actually kind of funny because of the size of the nose of the average Thai person. As you might guess, the fabric here, it doesn't stick out a whole lot. So is that going in and out, and the autofocus is giving us like a black background and it's bothering you guys? Because if it is, I can, turn around or whatever. Barbecue, but not Western sauce. I would agree with that. Sorry, I was responding to Aaron's comment. Okay, all good, no worries. How powerful is the new Samsung A1? Can stream? Absolutely, Caesar. I would submit that any phone on the market today that costs over $200, you can absolutely stream in. Now, this is getting it's getting a little warm, but it's not like super hot. So I'm going to anticipate that I turned off all of the data flow and that sort of thing. I want to make sure that I do get to all of your comments here. How much battery do I have? Great question, Justin. I have 24%, so I'm going to plug that in right away. How many people using the cell towers here? So that's it's less of an issue actually than it used to be. They eat turtle soup in Thailand and like Louisiana. So the only place I've been able to find stuff like that, they also have shark fin soup, is over in Chinatown. iPhone 11 sounds like over 1,000. What about secondhand? Yeah, I mean you can get. I wouldn't buy a secondhand phone in this country, but in the United States, at the end of the day, I mean all you got to do is, because you can't register the thing with Apple, like if it's stolen or if it's hacked or whatever. Day 497. Congratulations, Daniel. That's absolutely friggin' spectacular. Find another monitor this time. Don't piss it off. Well, that's kind of why I wanted to have this in the background, so you guys could tell me, hey, Mike, by the way, there's a monitor lizard behind you. And if you don't get on top of it and start riding it like a horse, then Brian is going to want his money back. So, anyway, so there you go. There we go. All right, so it's really nice here, and what I really like about being able to come outside, I mean, there's a lot of pigeons around me, and what's interesting about the pigeons that come around you here is, I was like, wait, wasn't I just going to do something? Justin? Wasn't I just going to... auto exposure is annoying. No disagreement, yeah, and I keep moving. I don't quite know how to turn that off. If you ate a scorpion, well done. If I don't move a whole lot, then it might not auto exposure. Anyway, I've got battery. Yeah, I can see it auto exposuring. So let me tell you what. Let me do. How about this? Will that have it happen less? That's kind of what I was looking at a little bit yesterday, or sorry, during the last stream. And I believe that was keeping it from auto focusing. So hopefully that'll be a little bit better. It's a little further away, so I'm not going to be able to see the. I'm not going to be able to see the comments as I might like. It was crunchy, not gooey. Absolutely, yeah. And I've heard it's one of those things that it doesn't necessarily taste like chicken, even though you wish it did taste like chicken. What I believe I can do is put the battery here, plug it in here. Okay, it just vibrated, so I believe it knows that there's battery there. And I believe I can set the battery there. And let me just double check. It's charging, and it just went from 20 to 21%. So I find that a good thing. Need sun behind the camera. I agree. The sun is effectively right above me. And as you might guess, I wanted to be in the shade because I can't sit anywhere that's not shade. The background is too bright. Okay, well, I tell you what. If that's the case, then I may have to do this. And we won't necessarily get a shot of the lake, but we'll get a shot of the park. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Is that less annoying? I'm not making fun of you. I completely agree with the annoyance label. All right, cool. I'm charging, and the battery is at 100%. So the phone will soon be at whatever percent it can be. I hope you can hear me okay. I basically can't reach the comments, so if the comments come and they fade out, well, then I can't get to them. But anyway, I don't have a cool and refreshing beverage. It's just kind of... the background is fine for what I'm doing. All right, cool. Good. I mean, selfishly, I love what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at the lake, and I'm also in a very good spot for some lizard sightings. So that'll be good. I'll immediately turn it around, and all of a sudden it will be like, blam. You guys will be like, oh my God, Mike, lizard at 2 o'clock. And you'll be able to see that. Holy moly, dude, camera is fine. Hear you fine. All right, good. Why was I obsessing about it? What? Can't hear you. Yeah, funny. Caesar, you remind me of the chewy crickets my girlfriend made me eat. I'm sure what you... All right, hold on. Let me make sure that I read that sentence right. Caesar, you remind me of the... Yeah, I'm sure what you meant is your statement reminds me of the chewy... Have I had lizard kebab? I have not had lizard kebab. And I'll say that publicly so that they'll probably come back. And they'll be like, all right, at least he isn't one of those crazy lizard kebab guys. because that killed Stevie, and we all know what we need to stay away from where Stevie was because he got lizard kebabbed. So there's a fish over there. I always wonder, like, when fish are jumping out of water, is it a sign? Are they like trying to reach out for is it a cry for help? But there's a fish over there. They're flopping around. There's a monitor lizard way over there. You probably, yeah, you can see it actually if I zoom over. Let's see here. Let me get to there. Let me get behind this. I think you guys we can ideally see that buddy. He's like right, let's see. Hold on. Yep, there he is. That's as far as I can. Oh, no, I can zoom a little bit more. So, yep, he's hanging out right there. Good lizard. Good lizard. Good lizard. Ah, nature. It's a lovely thing. Gotta love nature. .com. Happy Mother's Day, Scott. Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Thailand vloggers. I think I've seen some of your stuff. That's very cool. I appreciate you coming by here. Oops, sorry. I meant to click on the chat. There we go. Right now it's only 33 degrees in Bangkok. Yeah, but if you have one of those apps that like tells you what the temperature is, usually below it, it will tell you what it feels like. Because yeah, while it's only 33 degrees right now, so in New England, or places that I've been that are cold, there's wind chill factor, right? So it's like a thermometer will tell you that it's 20 degrees outside. Because of the wind, it's even colder. So it's kind of like the wind chill factor, and so it's 20 degrees outside, but it feels like 17. I found on this app that I have on my phone that it tells me what the temperature is outside, but it also tells you what it feels like based on the humidity. Ooh, that breeze is epic. Oh, I'm all about that.com. Inspired asks, so if your girlfriend makes it back next month, what's on the plan going somewhere in Thailand? If we get to the point where people can come in from other countries, and, well, here's the thing. I'll start at this level. If everything gets back to normal-ish, to the point where Gracie and I can travel like we were going to travel, that would mean that I can go to the Philippines, I can show up, I can cruise down, and we can hang out at her farm, and we can take her daughter, who would probably be going back to school here pretty soon. We might be, I don't know if we could take her out of school for a whole week. They're pretty into attendance at the schools in the Philippines. I wanted to take her to I wanted all of us to go to the Camotes Islands. If that's a possibility, we would do that. Now, subtracting back from that to say what is more likely to be reality, i.e. next month, if Gracie has the opportunity, I would submit it will be a high likelihood that Gracie will be able to come here a lot sooner than I will be able to go there. And so because of that, cool, 29%. This battery's working pretty good. Then what she'll do is she'll probably come here. Camotes Islands, actually, is Camotes. It's basically 2 islands, and it's off the coast of Cebu, off the city of Cebu. You take a ferry, and so that's where we were going to go. And so, but I would submit that it's going to be easier for her to come here. What will probably be pretty likely is that the way that she'll get here is she'll go from where she is now to fly to Manila. She will go to Manila and lay over for probably at least 1 day, maybe 2, depending upon how long it takes her to get a health certificate that says that she doesn't have COVID, so that she can probably enter Thailand with that documentation. September 1st, school's supposed to start in the Philippines so far. Wow, that's a big delta. That is a long time. I mean, normally they go back to school in June. Wow, that's a long summer if you're a kid. I wonder when graduation will be. I'm sure that will be delayed. And so then she will get here, and she may or may not have to quarantine for 14 days, which would be fine. Because, if Gracie needs to quarantine in our condo for 14 days, I know how to do that. I can order food. I mean, hours before she gets here, I'll have basically 3 weeks worth of food shipped to the thing. So we'll be able to stay there, no problem. And I could stay with Gracie inside for like 2 weeks. That'd be fun. Our condo isn't that small, so it'd be kind of cool. And we each, like, she can be in the bedroom, I can be in the living room, like doing whatever. She's watching, TV, or she's watching stuff on her phone. She can be in the living room, I can be in the bedroom, whatever. Where in Southeast Asia do they not have Coca-Cola? I don't know. I can tell you I had buddies that worked for Coca-Cola, and it is the largest distribution of anything in the world. They deliver more than FedEx and UPS and DHL. They may not deliver more than Alibaba does on a regular basis, but I can tell you I've been to places in the middle of nowhere, and they've had no fresh water, but they've had Coca-Cola. And the way that it gets delivered, it's not some awesome shiny red truck like we get in the United States, where the guy basically comes and fills it every day, and he's making 58 grand a year to drive the Coca-Cola truck. It's basically one or two cases of bottles, and it comes in on a motorbike, on the back of the motorbike. If it's three cases, then there'll be a third case in basically the front basket of the motorbike. But Coca-Cola makes sure that they can get Coca-Cola to the ends of the earth. Do they have it in the Bangkok Hilton? I've heard of that in prison. I don't know, and I am not going to find out, because I went to any lengths to not go to jail in San Diego. So there is no way I'm going to even consider going to jail here in Thailand. I can't even imagine. It must just be like it is in the movies. I'm sure it's actually pretty uncomfortable. So if she comes over and then this, now here's the deal. What I also think is probably going to happen before that is that Thailand, like a lot of countries, is going to open up like inner sort of travel. So there's a pretty high likelihood that it will probably be disappointing for her. It will be disappointing for me too that she can't join me, but I'll probably be able to go down to the beach. And I need to go to the beach. I like the water. This makes me feel good right here. It's awesome doing this with you guys, by the way. And that sort of charges me up. But I really like the beach, I really like the ocean, and I can't wait to do a live stream from Cha Am, basically just sitting at the ocean, because it goes whoosh, whoosh for hours. And I love that. So anyway, I don't know if I'll be able to take a bus or a train. If I'm able to take a bus, what will probably be likely is like every other seat will be unavailable. Which, you could argue, well, that may double the cost of the bus, and that's fine, because it's not that expensive for me to take a bus from here down to Cha Am. Or it's basically the bus that goes to Hua Hin, and you just tell the guy to stop in Cha Am before he, And then from there with a backpack, I can take a motorbike for 20 baht, 30 baht, right at that bus station at the Bangkok Bank area, if you know where Cha Am they stop. And I can go right down to the beach, and I'll have my choice of nice hotels at a very good price. So that'll probably be what happens. If not, and Gracie comes over here, and she and I are literally, I'm able to pick her up at the airport. We come back to the condo. She can sleep for a couple days and relax, take our showers, obviously, and then we grab backpacks, and we are going to go. We are going to go to wherever we can safely to enjoy ourselves, because that's why I'm here. I'm here because of Gracie. I'm also here because here is here. I mean, if Gracie, let's just say for the sake of argument, I met her in Boracay, but her home was Alaska, well, as much as I probably wouldn't have had the inclination to fall in love with her as I have because of where she is. Jomtien has rooms at the beach for 450 baht. Absolutely. Where's the bus station to Hua Hin in Bangkok? So there's a couple. I could take the train or whatever. I could get to Suvarnabhumi, and then I could take, it's the same bus company that basically goes from Suvarnabhumi all the way down to Pattaya. So it's a pretty nice bus, air-conditioned bus. There's like a door between you and the driver, that sort of thing. So I can go to there, and I can get it from Suvarnabhumi. That's a pretty nice bus. Or I can go to the bus station. The bus station in the main sort of one that everyone sort of agrees is like the main Bangkok bus station, bus terminal, is at Ekamai, Sukhumvit and Ekamai, or the Ekamai station on BTS. I've taken a bus from there. I've taken a van from there. We've taken a van to there from the place. Or I can walk down to Udom Suk, which is another place that doesn't necessarily have a bus station, but the buses that leave from Ekamai, a lot of times when they're heading south, then they will be going south, basically, on Sukhumvit Road for a while, before they basically get on the actual highway. Not freeway, but highway. the flyover. So I can catch one there, too. And a lot of times I can get a bus. sorry, I can get a bus, but I can also get a van. You know those like minivan deals that like. So there's plenty of options, and it just sort of depends on the most expensive way for me to do it is to take the bus that is from Suvarnabhumi Airport. But it's also the nicest bus. They give you like a bottle of water. The temperature is always really nice. Unlimited luggage, effectively. I mean, unless you bring something that's like over 50 kilos, they're like, look, dude, just because, I mean, I got to lift this, so you give me extra money. That's fine. You can buy the tickets online, which is like totally great. Inspired says, dude, I missed the roadie sweet food and eating at Foodland cafeteria in front of the store on Soy 3/102 or wherever it is. Can't wait to retire next year. Good for you, dude. That's absolutely cool. I wanted to retire and knew I was going to like eventually sort of retire or maybe refire, or I would just basically move and then I would work in a different way. I wasn't quite sure, but I knew I was going to leave my current employer at some point, not because it was lousy, but then it became lousy and it became the reason that I left. So there is a crow over there, and I actually seriously thought it was like a bunch of gardeners doing some work, but this crow is chewing on the plastic cap of a bottle or of a cup of coffee. And so anyway, if you want, I'll cruise over there actually, because I'm pretty much going by there. If I get off at Nana, I can definitely go down to Soy 3. So I'll see if the Foodland's open over there. I'll take some footage of that. Anyway, what I was saying earlier, actually, and I actually already forgot his name, and I don't know whether he stopped by or not, but it's not Justin, but I know it begins. Yeah, so Joseph Pinto. He was on the live stream yesterday, and he asked me if I had ever stayed at Bel Air Bangkok, and I went over there just to check it out afterwards. Figured, okay, maybe I'll do a video of the room, and it's right now with the discount, you know, it's like 13, 14, 1500 baht for a room. Normally it's like about 2,000, you know, like high season, peak season, it'll be about 3,000, but pretty nice rooms. And it's on Soy 5, and so I went over there yesterday to check it out. Got to the place, and yeah, the doors were physically open, meaning I could walk into the lobby, but the only person that was there was the guard to tell me that it's closed. And so, you know, he had hand sanitizer for me, but the hotel was closed, and a lot of them are. He said they won't be open until after June, so, you know, soonest that hotel is going to be available is July 1st. So if he's watching this, or if he comes back to watch it, like I said actually in the video that I'm going to upload on it, best thing to do is call the hotel, because like even if you can make a reservation on Agoda, that doesn't mean that the hotel wasn't just like, don't worry about Agoda, just let it sit, and people are like making reservations and might show up. Now that said, there's plenty of other places in Bangkok. I mean, literally there's like 7 other hotels on that one little Soy. Clay, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. Later. Be well. Yeah, go hang out with Rike. That's awesome. Justin says, same station to catch the Pattaya bus. I've been there a couple times. Absolutely, yeah, it's really easy. It's very reasonable. The train is absolutely an option. I love the train. And I've done some videos on the train that Gracie and I took from Cha Am down to Hua Hin, and then from there down to Prachuap Khiri Khan. And we took the what's called the ordinary train, which basically means that the seats are like big bench seats, and they're basically at about 95, 100 degrees, at very little tilt, and you know, they're hard plastic, but they're comfortable, and it's cheap. I mean, to go from Cha Am to Hua Hin, it was 17 baht. I mean, it's a 30-minute train ride for, you know, about 60 cents, 55, 60 cents. I mean, it was amazing. I was just like, because the delta between the price of the ordinary and then the air-conditioned first class, and the seats are not in good shape. The tray tables that come down, they're like bent, that sort of thing. Yeah, they give you food, but the food is like subpar. So I'll do the non-air, and the other one is non-air conditioned, just to be clear. But once the train starts moving, I mean, the air is, now again, we did that in January and February. No, I'm sorry, we did that, December. We did that in December. So arguably one of the cooler months. So I don't know what it's like now. It's probably a lot warmer, but yeah, I love the train, and I can't wait to do it again. Daniel asks, I thought Gracie was with you, was in Thailand also. Sadly, she's not. And Daniel, the reason she went back is because she and I went down to Koh Si Chang, which is effectively the closest island to Bangkok. It's just down south. It's basically between, if you know the road that you take to go from Bangkok to Pattaya, many people know that. About halfway down, you stop and you go to a pier and you go to Koh Si Chang. And it is a very Thai vacation island. So we went over there, and then we came back, and then we went about probably about a 10 or 15-minute drive in a grab from that pier north to a Bang Sien, which is a pretty close beach, actually, probably closer, arguably, than Cha Am. I didn't like it as much as Cha Am. It was a little busier. So, but anyway, we did that, and then by the time we got back to the condo in February, I mean, we were going to be like, okay, so like tomorrow, the next day, we'll go over to immigration, and we'll get the 30-day extension for Gracie, and then she'll be able to stay, because it was about 2 weeks in, she'll be able to stay here for the total of 60 days. And then it was announced that, this was like on a Friday, and it was announced that on that Saturday night, once you get to Manila, you can't leave. So in other words, if you fly into Manila and you're transiting, fine, leave the country. But if you fly into Manila and then you're going to get on a connecting flight to go to any other province in the Philippines, you can't do that. So if you get to Manila, you got to stay in Manila as of that Saturday night. So we immediately booked her on a flight, Bangkok, Manila, and then like about maybe a 6-hour layover, and then Manila, back down to where she was. And, so she could like be with her family and that sort of thing. Additionally, there was no announcement back then that, oh, by the way, if you're here on a tourist visa or a stamp or whatever, then you don't worry about it. You're already under this amnesty thing, and you can stay for as long as, 2 more months, 3 more months kind of thing until you can leave. But, so it's been a bummer. But I'm glad she was home because her mom hurt herself, and Gracie was really probably the most responsible one of the kids. Also the most available because, the sons, that sort of thing, they have, families. And some of them have like 5 kids, wife and 5 kids. So it's a standard Filipino family, right? And they're farmers, and, so they can't just be like, oh, let me take 2 to 3 days off and take mom to the hospital and make sure no, that doesn't work that way. So Gracie was able to do that with her elder sister, so she was able to take care of her mom. So that really makes me happy that she was able to get home for that. Secondly, her daughter's there, and while I'm very bummed that I didn't go back, to see her daughter, like I've mentioned before, I'm very grateful that based on this medical crisis, I'm in Bangkok because the medical care here is amazing. Now Gracie's like 30, she just turned 33, I think, in April, either 32 or 33, maybe 34, I don't know, it doesn't matter. The point is that she had a birthday in April, but and so she's in like perfect health, and she's taking care of the house, and she's like planting vegetables and all this stuff, so that's been really cool. So, at the end of the day, it is better that she's back there. It's just a drag. Now, the other thing, too, is that had she stayed here, there's a chance that at some point she'd be able, like in the next month, let's say, sake of argument, she could leave Thailand. But she couldn't necessarily get into Manila. So what I think is actually probably going to happen, like I said, is she's going to be able to leave the Philippines and come to Thailand. However, she probably couldn't get back. But again, Gracie and I were planning on traveling for most of the year anyway, with part of that travel being, we'll be in Bangkok for like a month, and then we'll like go somewhere else, and then we'll come back to the apartment. Oh, that breeze is amazing, you guys. Absolutely. It's interesting, the pigeons that are around here, I don't see any people, like, I see more signs that say don't feed the pigeons than I see people feeding the pigeons, which is different in America. There's plenty of signs that say don't feed the pigeons, and there's also plenty of people feeding the pigeons. Let's see. Caesar says, if you want to see something incredible, check out the birds of Chiang Mai. There are some groups on Facebook that show the insects and birds. Oh, that's kind of cool. Inspired says, remind me again where Gracie is in the Philippines. My wife is from Davao area. So Gracie is in Hamandan, which is where, so there's Boracay, right? And then like right across the water there is Caticlan, right? And then if you go further south, then you go to Kalibo, which used to be like basically the main airport where you would go to Boracay. So you would fly into Kalibo and then take a 2-hour bus ride north. If you keep going south, the bigger city around that area is Roxas City, R-O-X-A-S, Roxas City, in the Visayas. So anyway, so yeah, she's there. So she's a little bit north of, different island, but she's north of Davao. And that's really cool, Inspired. I'm psyched to meet with you guys whenever we can, and so hopefully that will be either in the Philippines or in Thailand. I think it's a higher likelihood that Rika and I will probably reconnect physically once he's able to go back to Vietnam as well as we are. Because I would love to go to Vietnam. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys before, but, occasionally on my live streams, right, when I would do it at home, I would bring up this was a while ago, but I would bring up the Johns Hopkins site about how many, cases they have of COVID and how many dead. The last time I looked, and this was like 2-3 days ago, 0. Absolutely zero, not one, not two, not a couple, not a handful, 0 people have died in Vietnam, and they have like 370 cases. Dude, they have a population of 97 million people. Okay? So that is ridiculously commendable. The numbers that Thailand has is ridiculously commendable because there's 70, how many people live here? 70 million, basically. And they've got less than 100 dead. And they've got like 3,700 or whatever it is, cases. Come on. That's rounding error, dude. I mean, they're doing a great job. And it's just, I just love being here. So yeah, inspired. That's cool. Jason says, I took the overnight train to Chiang Mai. Best way to get to Chiang Mai, I think leave at 5 p.m. and get to Chiang Mai at 8 a.m. if I remember correctly. I can tell you right now, I'm really excited to hear that because now I have a sample size of several people, not the least of which was Brian, when he was in Chiang Mai a while ago, and I was actually thinking about going up there for the long weekend. And I think he said, oh yeah, take the train. And I was like, oh, I should totally do that. But then I was transitioning, and I was going to a conference down in Pattaya, and so I was basically down there for a week between having an Airbnb in Bangkok and then starting my new lease on February 1st up at where I was. So I was like, I got to kind of, take care of that. Maybe I'll get a chance to do it. And then he went home, so to New York. Last time I traveled in that area, I was at Novotel Hua Hin Cha Am Beach and Resort Hotel. That is a great hotel, my friend. Absolutely, good for you. Todd says, no social distancing in the parks or they will close them. I mean, there's some, they're doing pretty social distancing here. I don't know if you mean like elsewhere, but people are definitely adhering to it here, which is like really cool. Philippines, large number of epidemics. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a drag, and it's increasing. And the medical care there is not. They're pretty ill prepared, and they're not super competent. So, Inspired says, so funny how Thai people think my wife is Thai and try to speak Thai with her. You ever had that happen? We don't have that happen. That happens literally every single time Gracie and I are somewhere or she's by herself in Thailand. She walks up, Gracie and I will be, holding hands and we're walking somewhere and we walk up to someone who's a Thai person. They look at me and then they immediately look at her. They start speaking Thai and Gracie's like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And then usually I will say, oh, she's not Thai, my kun Thai, and Philippine. I don't say Philippines, they don't get that. But if I say, Philippine, they say, oh, Philippine. And, but yeah, I mean, I know like, I don't know, 20, maybe 25 if I'm lucky on a good day, Thai words. And Gracie doesn't know any. She knows, Sawadee Ka, that's about it. Oh, and the other thing that she knows too is what you hear on the BTS, which is, Sutani Tubai, or Tao Bai, Na, right? I mean, she knows how to say next station, and then the name of the station from the BTS. But yeah, every time, dude, every time, absolutely happens. It's hilarious. 1,000 species of butterflies in Thailand, dude. That's really, and I haven't seen many. I mean, I've seen some. I've seen like what they look like monarch butterflies. Now, when we were in the Philippines, when we did our, if you've seen that one adventure park they have in the Chocolate Hills, right? So Chocolate Hills Adventure Park. You can go in there, and they have an entire butterfly sanctuary, actually. There's butterflies everywhere, and it's very close to the bicycle zip line. So you ride a bicycle with a zip line, cable at the bottom, and then a zip line cable at the top, and of course the bike is, attached to both of them. You, with a harness, are attached to both of them, but you ride this bicycle across a zip line. And, it's attached, but, I mean, and you have to be actually less than 95 kilos. And for this guy who's 6'2", who likes donuts, who is living in the United States, and ingesting a whole lot of high fructose corn syrup, then I was on the verge. My goal was to be 90 kilos, so that with clothes, I was just a little bit over it. And sure enough, I was able to hit that mark. When I got over there, I had my clothes on. I had 2 cell phones. I had stuff in my pockets, whatever. I was 93 kilos, but they still let me in. But yeah, that's the only place I've been where there's like a significant number of birds. Now I have butterflies. Now I haven't been to sort of anything like a zoo or whatever in Thailand. I don't even know if they have one, like in Bangkok, like the Brog Zoo. They have the Bangkok Zoo. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Inspired says, do you honestly really trust the numbers from Vietnam and Thailand, bro? The probability is astronomical. They are reporting accurate numbers, evil. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the deal: is that while I may not believe them, um, I've got that source of data, and I've got other sources of data that corroborate with it. And all you could say was, right, Mike, well, all they're doing is they're publishing all the same lies. Yeah, maybe. But, I got to look somewhere. And I can agree with you that the numbers probably aren't accurate. But I can also tell you that I feel safe where I'm here. And I would also feel very safe in Vietnam from a medical perspective, because their medical tourism is increasing in quality. So anyway, yeah, I mean, look, I don't believe any data is correct. Okay, it's the best they can do at the time, even if they're reporting it honestly. It's the best they can do at the time with the awareness and with the tools they have. But it's never 100% accurate. So I go with it. It doesn't make my life any better if I say, oh, it's wrong, and then I just ignore it. I'm like, okay, I'll use that as a data point. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on that. But I'm pretty clear that it's not accurate. I get that. Endemics, not epidemics, bro. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Sorry, dude. It's a paradise. Todd says, I just seen a post yesterday about it on thaivisa.com. Yeah, I don't really go over to thaivisa.com. Every time I've gone over there, I leave disappointed. Mainly because a lot of the comments. And some of the data that they put on there actually is fairly accurate. So that's more accurate than it used to be. A little bit less opinion, more data. But for the most part, I don't cruise over there. So, but many people do. I get it, and I can totally appreciate that. Some of the guys that I really respect quite a bit. For example, Benjamin Hart from Integrity Legal. He will read stories that he's quoting from Thaivisa, and so he believes their data is correct. So that's totally cool. I get it. Jesus says, there are bird freaks doing photography of the locals. You will be totally amazed. The bugs, too, iridescent colors, and then and the snakes, I might add. Saw a snake in Lumpini. I haven't seen any snakes in Lumpini. Justin says, Chiang Mai Zoo, you can feed the giraffes. Oh, dude, awesome. One of the things I love in San Diego, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, San Diego Zoo, best in the world. Okay, I've been to the zoo. It's okay. They're still in cages. What I really like, it's not called this anymore, but we used to be called the San Diego Wild Animal Park. Is if you go up to 15, if you go up to 5 and then inland around sort of like Escondido, anyway, go north of San Diego and near San Diego Wild Animal Park, and it is this open, huge, gigantic place, and there's lions and tigers and bears there's lions and tigers, and there's giraffes, and I remember just going up, to the fence, and then in front of you is 20,000 acres where they can basically roam around, and in the summer, it's hot enough to sort of replicate the Sahara. But yeah, I mean, and you're sitting there and you're looking way up, like I'm looking at the top of this palm tree kind of thing, right? And then all of a sudden the neck just comes down like this, and you're sitting there feeding this thing, and of course its body is 5 meters away. And I'm just like, God, what a crazy design for an animal, But yeah, I dig feeding giraffes, dude. That's totally cool. Aaron says, Google says Dusit Zoo is in Bangkok, but it's closed. Yeah, I don't know where that is. I'll have to look that up. Thank you very much, Aaron. Inspired said, I agree. I really think the mortality rate is less than or close to 1%. We need to get back to the opening of the world, back up a little quicker. No disagreement, my friend. Absolutely. There is an ape space in Thailand. Siamang? Is that how you pronounce it? I think it's the name. I don't know where that is. I'll have to look at that too. That's awesome. Chiang Mai Zoo is also, they have a panda. Oh my God, that guy must be hot. Well, maybe not in the winter. Inspired said, yeah, I love that park. Went to San Diego State University Wild Animal Park. Was way better than the zoo. I went to San Diego State. That's where I got my bachelor's. So I don't know if you were just there for vacation or whether you lived there. It was a cool place to live for a long time. I'll tell you that right now. So there's still 24 of you here, which I really appreciate. I know that there's other guys doing live streams right now. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go for a little bit of a walk, and I'm just going to kind of chill out. My back is kind of hurting because I'm not sitting in anything with a back support. But at an hour and 40 minutes in, I really want to thank you guys for doing this. I love Lumpini Park. And I love the fact that you guys joined me. I hope this live stream was cool. I hope it was pretty decent. You were born in Mercy Hospital. Dude, right on. Very cool. I hope it was decent enough. Like when I left the BTS and walked over here, I definitely want to do it again. I prefer being outdoors, big time. My phone, let's see, it's not like super hot and it's charging. And even right now, I'm at 43%, so this whole battery thing is working out great. And I got like 50% probably easily left on this battery. Oh no, I got like four bars out of 4 on the battery. So anyway, it's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, then you probably didn't graduate in 1996 like Inspired did with his undergraduate from SDSU. Talk to you soon, guys. Live the dream. Ciao.